For 2 whole seasons, we've wondered what the source of Pauly's delusions are, and we finally get the answer on today's episode of Claws. We have a lot of thoughts, so stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Let me get in here. True colors, true color like a rainbow.
I love this song, you guys.
I do too.
I get chills when I hear this song.
I like it.
It's like a
don't know.
legit good song.
No,
you
it
know?
is. It
I feel
is,
like every
yeah.
decade has like their iconic ballads, and like this is a good song. It's emotional.
It's been sampled a couple of times too. I don't even remember it, but in Save Last Dance, it was sampled.
Oh,
And
yeah?
even there, it was a good one.
Yes.
Yes.
Speaking of emotional, this is a very emotional episode of Claws,
Oh,
which we're of course
gosh.
here to talk about today, guys. This is the Claws After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. Today we're covering Season 2, Episode 9, Til Death. And boy, was there a death in this episode.
Yes, a lot of it.
Before we get into it, guys, my name's Jeff. I'm joined by the beautiful Jazzi Knox.
Hey.
And the equally beautiful Jaimi Gray. And the moderately attractive at best, me. I'm happy to be here.
Listen, you
I don't
know
know, Jeff. I'm just kidding.
Okay, so before we get into today's coverage, guys, don't forget we have some news, we have some gossip, and some predictions. We're almost at the season finale, which is
know.
crazy. So make sure you stay tuned for the whole episode. We've got so much to talk about. But before we get into it, I want to know, what were everyone's overall thoughts on this episode? Jaimi, I'm going to throw to you first.
You know what? I think that I liked it a lot better than last episode. I know the last episode, we felt like a lot of things were all over the place.
Yeah.
We're starting to get a little bit of closure, especially with Carrie Preston, who plays Pauly.
Wow.
So very excited to just kind of see how that's unraveling. So I think with this episode, I'm a lot more excited for the finale. Last episode, not so much. Now I have a little hope. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you a little bit and piggyback. I'm really happy we're finally getting Pauly's story. I think it was kind of like long overdue. Then there's still more to the story as well. I don't think that Pauly is the way she is only because her sister.
Yeah.
I wonder what else maybe like traumatized her, like what really got her into jail. But I liked it. There were some highlights in there, and there was also some like really like depressing times. So it was good.
Right,
it was
definitely.
good. But I mean, I think we needed this episode.
I do
Definitely.
too. Yeah, I kind of liked the pace of it. Like a lot happened, but it was a little slowed down. Like I feel like we got to sort of explore more of the emotional sides of the characters. We had a lot of emotional scenes. I mean, even some of the
Yes.
Jen and Bryce stuff was very emotional. The Dean and Virginia stuff was really sweet.
Wasn't that so cute?
Yeah, and
I
the
love
Dean
them.
and
We
Desna
needed that.
stuff.
We needed
Yeah,
that to slow
so
it down.
I always like when the show really dives into the characters, and I really
too.
feel like this was a really rich episode character-wise, so I'm excited to get into it. That being said, I think I want to start by just talking about the weddings around the corner.
Yes.
We had some fun. This is like Claws at its best.
Yes.
How did you all feel about the girls prepping for this wedding?
So with them trying on the, with the Desmond trying on her dress, I thought it was very sweet. You know, I'm glad that they're still going on with it, because you never know. Like, you know, we already know that with this wedding, it's gonna be crazy. But as far as, because it's not like a real wedding to Desna, she's not actually marrying the love of her life. It's all kind of fake to begin with. I think it's good that she's still going through with it, because who knows if she would ever get married. Like, it's rare for women these days. So
Yeah.
I liked it. It seemed like that's exactly how it should be if you're getting married. So even though it was a fake wedding, the fact that they were all in, they were trying on different dresses, they had a little sentimental moment and started
Yeah.
crying, and Desmond was in like the real like traditional dress. So I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. It just made me have hope for one day if I get married.
yeah.
I love Quiet Anne's.
Life.
Quiet Anne's like blue tux.
I love them all,
Yes.
actually.
I
That's
love
one of my
Quiet Anne.
favorite. Yeah.
I thought Jen looked fierce too. In
She
the
always
green.
looks
She
fierce.
does.
Yeah.
She does.
So here's a question. Do you guys prefer like the New Orleans kind of bride Desna, or like the very traditional? Which would you want to see on her wedding day?
Traditional.
I want to see traditional.
Yeah?
I want to see traditional.
Yeah.
Even though it's Claws?
Well, that outfit she tried on, to be honest with you, I wasn't a big fan of it.
Weren't a fan?
I mean, it was spicy. It was cute if she was going out somewhere else. But for a wedding, I know
Yeah.
it was a fake wedding, so I get why she, like, you know, put that on.
Right.
But I wasn't really here for it. I'm like, nah.
I agree. I felt like it was like borderline tacky. It was a great outfit.
Yeah.
Like, I would probably rock it, just again, time and a place, and it not for
Vegas.
a wedding.
Not for a wedding.
Yeah.
It is funny. I feel like with weddings, even the most like boho, hippie, non-traditional people seem like they kind of want that traditional wedding. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
They
It's
do.
a classic moment. This is
Yeah.
like the moment that you remember for the rest of your life, you know?
Definitely. Well, we'll have to see what their wedding is
Yeah.
like.
I know.
But speaking of traditional couples and people who are already married, I want to talk about Jen and Bryce. I will say, you've always been.
I know. Listen, I was so happy. I'm always team Jen and Bryce all day.
It's kind of. I'm like starting to get on your train, Jazzi, because like it was kind of sweet watching them like reach back to the old days of their marriage and like she's the best mom. And how do we feel about Jen and Bryce potentially moving to Tampa, fresh start? What are our thoughts here?
I'm just worried. Well, actually, I'm not worried. I'm happy about it, but I'm just hoping that it goes all like great, because we saw in the episode how like Uncle Daddy and Will were thankfully blessed Bryce with the money and to get the house. So I really hope that next week like Bryce would just take his family and just move out. I think it's the best for them, and I think it's needed. They need a fresh start. They really want to do different things, So I think it's something that we can see. I'm all for it.
Yes, definitely. What did you think, Jaimi, of Jen and Bryce rekindling?
First of all, you guys are crazy. Like
Crazy.
Okay, maybe that's harsh, whatever. But you guys, I think that Jen and Bryce are cute, but do they have a future? No, I think that this is awful for the both of them. I think that they are their own worst enemy, and I just don't think that this is time. When she said, let's have a baby, what? Really? And you want to move to Tampa? He's still going to be in bad activity, gang activity.
You think so? Why?
Yes. I mean, we saw how he still has... He's the same guy that he was before. You saw today's episode.
There was a moment.
The guy's crazy.
Bryce had a moment.
If you want to call it that.
I'm going to give Bryce a pass in that moment.
Yeah.
Wow.
I give him a pass. I'm not for the violence, and I don't think that Bryce wanted to kill him either. Clearly, we saw that Bryce was telling Roller, "Don't kill him," but kill Hank, by the way. But I mean, the fact that he was still running his mouth, I think that Hank would have still wanted to finish whatever he planned to do to like tear down Bryce and Jen's relationship. So I think that incident was needed.
The apple
And I'm
never
here for
falls
it.
far from the tree.
But did you guys think it was funny when Bryce and Jen was like pleading their case on why they should deserve that house to at the bank? I mean, it was just so funny. And the fact that she said denied still was just even more heartbreaking.
It was so much shade.
Yeah.
So much shade. It did have my favorite quote from the episode came from this scene. Before Jen leaves the bank, she tells the bank teller, "Well, you have lopsided tits, Karen."
I was mad at that. I was like, how dare you?
Yeah. But
then
Karen
Bryce
had
gets
it
all the
coming,
pins.
though, right? Or too much?
I thought it was too much.
Body shaming, I guess,
Body
is kind of
shaming,
crapping.
yeah.
That's not,
Yeah.
How is that too much when she clearly didn't give them any kind of
Telling
sympathy?
someone they have lopsided tits is body shaming.
That's body shaming. But the
was
bank
rude.
teller was pretty mean. I mean, she faked was going to give them the loan and then denied it right in their face.
That's bad customer service.
Bad
I would have
customer
filed
service.
a complaint.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
We should all take Jamie's
Better
advice.
Business Bureau.
Yes,
Yelp.
the BBB. Okay, well, before we have to talk about what Bryce did because it was crazy, and we are getting to it. But before that, I want you to tell us about our network, Jazzi.
Yes.
What we got going on with subscriptions.
AfterBuzzers, our network produces after shows for nearly all your favorite TV shows, from dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more. There is no network that works harder than to serve television fans. But we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made just for you and will help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about pesky notifications, please don't worry because they're optional.
Yep.
So hit that subscribe button right now, like right this second, for this channel, and check out our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. Let us know you did so in the comments so we can shout you out on air. And for now, thanks for being the best fans ever and making us the ESPN of TV talk.
Hell yeah, well
Thanks,
said.
guys.
I know some of you guys are probably iTunes listeners. You might be in your car right now or doing laundry, but we have a YouTube channel. We have this chat, which, by the way, I'll be excited to see what they think. But you should subscribe, guys. The YouTube experience is different from the audio one, and personally, as an AfterBuzz fan myself, I listen to a lot of our shows.
Me too.
Nice.
I like doing both.
Me
So
too.
hit that subscribe button. You get something with each experience, and I promise it'll make your AfterBuzz experience
Right.
better. Speaking of the chat, anything standing out before we move on to our next topic?
I mean, when you were mentioning about Bryce, so we have to talk about what Bryce was doing. But Renji 90998 said, like, I don't condone violence, but Hank definitely deserved it. And Brownie, excuse me, was it Brownie? Yes, Browning 8986 said Hank deserved it. He really got cocky after he showed his mercy, and enough is enough. I'm telling you, Bryce is not bad here. This is the only time Bryce gets a pass for violence. But Jaimi doesn't feel me, and it's okay.
Never go after a man's wife, right?
Never.
Well, let's talk about the Dixie Mafia because they're trying, man. They are scheming. We see them in the factory, and they're developing a new plan. Tell me if I have this right. What it seems like they want to do, which, again, the Dixie Mafia, I don't even know if they know what they're doing, but I got the impression their plan was to open a rehab facility, but secretly get the rehabilitating patients re-addicted to narcs, right? Okay, so that's their plan. Do you guys feel like this plan's going to work for them?
No, I don't think it is.
Yeah, I'm
Jamie?
gonna say no. If I had my little
Yeah.
yes, no, I would definitely put that
We're
up there.
missing Roach Baby this week.
Yes,
We
we
missed you on the
miss
show. I
Roach
hope you're feeling
Baby.
better, but yeah. They're trying, Uncle Daddy Roller, and I like this
Let it
newcomer.
go.
Do we know his name?
No,
In
I
the
don't- I
chat,
don't-
can you guys tell us the name of this newcomer?
Yes, please do.
You
I don't
guys
know
are
his name.
our fifth
Sure.
panelist. I love it.
I don't think the plan's going to work out because since my Uncle Daddy plans and with Roller, they always have like, it sounds cool, like it's very like creative, but something always seems to go wrong. So
Right.
I don't
There's a
think
missing
it's,
link.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to go well. I don't think it's going to pull through. If anything, it's going to just cause more destruction that they do not need.
Well, I want to talk about one of my favorite scenes this season.
Okay.
And that's when they're trying to get Hank to sign the deed over to his dance studio so they can open a rehab facility because, of course, we have the trifecta of the salon,
Yep.
Suncoast, and now this rehab facility. So they've got a gun to Hank's head. Bryce walks in and tries to show mercy on Hank. This was a very noble move for Bryce.
Yeah.
You know, he's trying to change, but then Hank says something about Bryce's wife, Jen. Bryce isn't going to take it, and he shivs Hank in the neck. Let's just talk about this scene. I mean, what did you guys think? I want to hear your thoughts.
I was blown away. I did not expect that at all. Like, regardless of what Hank said, I mean, my goodness.
Yeah.
You know, it just, yeah, it freaked me out a little bit. I think it was a little too gory for me.
It was a lot.
You know,
It
like,
was gory.
I know with Claws, you got your mix of drama, comedy, but I was like, this is really gory. I wasn't
Bananas.
ready. I wasn't ready.
It caught me off guard. I wasn't so expecting that. Like when it didn't happen, I did gasp. But it was just needed. I'm like, yes. Like after I'm like, okay, well it's about time because like I said, Hank was he was an issue in the beginning. He tried to ruin Jen. He actually well not really kidnapped her, but held her hostage, you know. And then finally Bryce comes to the defense, and Bryce is not nowhere knowingly thinking that Uncle Daddy and Roller are trying to manipulate him to sell them the facility, the business, for their own personal pleasures. And Bryce actually tried to save him. He said, do not shoot Hank.
know.
Yeah.
So it's like the fact that he tried to save you, he had mercy on you. You know, he's like, I want bygones to be bygones be bygones. I'm trying to like live a stress-free life and just start off new and fresh. No more killing. I'm done with this stuff. But you still had a nerve to open your mouth. You deserve to die.
No, that's...
Exactly.
The music is
Period.
dramatic,
Steve with
it's
the drop.
perfect.
Steve is come
But
on, Steve.
Come on, Steve.
Here's the thing, though. Like, if Bryce can just, like, that
Snap.
quickly snap, then he's not ready for anything further with Jen. Imagine what he would do when they move to Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
New territory, new atmosphere. It's just, again, the apple does not fall far from the tree.
Yeah.
And I just... Even if you were to say something like that, the type of gang stuff that they deal with all the time, they all talk smack to each other.
Okay, so what do you think? But Hank,
need to kill him like
but
that.
Hank is not. Hank is
Like-
not part of their crew, so he can't talk smack to them.
But-
so how? Okay, so how else how you should have killed him?
He could have done something in the leg or the arm.
I'm like, what else would he
He
have
literally
done?
killed the guy.
I'm somewhere in between you guys. I mean, obviously it's ridiculous, but here's what I like about this scene, like from a writing perspective. If we're finally getting back on Hank's team, right? The writers are doing a good job, at least for me, convincing us that Hank's a good guy. So the only crime that for me is justified is in defense of Jen. You know, he's defending his
Yeah.
marriage. He's defending his woman. So I'm like, this was dumb. This was stupid. But I like your intentions because you know what? He's sticking up for his wife. And I think it's like this scene is a perfect distillation of his character because he comes in wanting to be good, right? He tries to have mercy.
Yes, he tried.
But you know what? When it comes to someone insulting his marriage, he can't take it. He just can't.
You know,
guys.
the only thing I think that could have been differently is maybe like it could have been dramatic and Bryce just turns his head and like walks away and turns to really like kill him or like
Yeah.
finish him. Like, okay. Maybe that would probably be like the better way to do it because Roller has no sympathy whatsoever and no remorse. So, if anything, I would say that he probably could have ordered him to be killed versus killing him. Either way,
that would have been
Hank-
good too.
Either way, Hank had
Yeah.
it coming. Yeah, that would have been really nice.
Very dramatic.
I think I would have liked it better if it was that way, but because it wasn't, you guys, it was too much for me.
Too
You guys
much.
are scaring me.
It's all right. I just hearing Jen come in and speak so highly of Bryce's character, I was a little confused. You guys, if you didn't see it, we had Jen Lyon and Jason Antoon, who both had amazing episodes this week. But Jen is so team Bren. She's so team Bryce
Yeah.
and Jen. And Jamie and I weren't
Bren, I love
necessarily
that.
seeing. Jazzy's been seeing it all season. Seeing episodes like this, I get it, you know, and I'm starting to see it more and more, even if Bryce is off his rocker. Okay, so this episode was about Pauly. So we have to talk about Pauly. I love how this season has been diving into the backstories of these characters. We've made some comparisons to Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
It's hard not to because there are female criminals with amazing backstories, and both shows are sort of on the foundation of that. So, boy, I loved this. What did you guys think of this Pauly stuff?
Loved it.
Yeah.
It was about time because
Yeah.
I mean, Pauly, you see her play so many different like perspectives and characters within her own character as well. And so we don't know where it comes from. We don't know where it stems from. Like, why is she the way that she is? So I think it's really good and it was needed to have more of like a background story of Pauly. But it does suck, like, to know that you are the cause of why your sister is dead. Like, to beginning, I didn't even know that her sister was dead. I thought when she played that role so well.
I know.
And I thought that she was alive until we had a different scene of like the episode where she was like invisible.
Right.
So I don't know. It was intense.
They definitely got me good with this.
Yeah.
Yes.
The entire scene with Pauly and her twin Lillian. So when I first saw it, I didn't really know what to expect. Again, they had me floored. I thought that Lillian actually was alive then and there. But I love that they showed so many vulnerable sides of Pauly. You can see why Carrie Preston was Emmy nominated. It's well deserved.
Right.
She's good.
But just realizing that that she actually had pushed her sister. That was different. It also gave me, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie The Good Son with Macaulay Culkin and
seen it.
Elijah.
I haven't, no.
You guys, that is a classic movie. It's from the early 90s. If you've seen that movie, let us know in the live chat or in the comments.
I'm gonna
But
check
it
it
is
out.
so good. It's from the 90s. Please watch that movie.
Okay.
But yeah, it just reminded me of that scene because she died in the water, but instead it didn't happen in the actual movie. You guys, anyway, I loved it, and I thought that she played her role so well.
It brought me closure because I was wondering to myself, like, why is she almost having an asthma attack because Maureen left? Like, clearly Maureen did not really
Lillian?
Maureen, the daughter. Remember?
No, Marnie.
Or Marnie,
Yeah.
excuse me, Maureen.
Yeah.
I keep saying Maureen. Clearly Marnie was not a fan of Pauly. Like, she appreciated Pauly to bring her in, but she didn't really see Pauly as a mother no matter how much Pauly tried. So I was kind of confused on why she was so stressed out and having an asthma attack over the fact that Marnie left her. But it brought me closure. I'm like, okay, the fact that she is the reason why her sister is dead.
Yeah.
And she couldn't save her. She didn't try to save her. So now Marnie comes to her life. She has another opportunity to try to save someone. And she tried all her might to save someone, and they still end up walking away from her. So that kind of brought closure. Like, okay, now it makes sense on why she feels the way she feels for Marnie. Because first I was just like, Pauly's crazy.
Exactly.
But now it makes more sense.
She needs somebody, and she wants to feel like, for once I can take care of somebody because I failed when I was younger. That's so much guilt and pressure to put on yourself.
Right.
But I loved that they showed this because we all, maybe some of us know twins, and you always wonder what it's like when they're comparing themselves to each other, what they go through, and to kind of show that, I was jealous and this is what I did. I love that vulnerability of that whole scene. It gives us a different perspective because we're not twins.
I'm more than sure that there are some twins out there that felt that.
That could feel
I'm
that.
more than sure.
Even siblings, you get compared to your siblings, or you feel like, one sibling gets more than the other. Everyone can kind of relate in some sort of way.
Definitely. Yeah, you guys are spitting so much truth. I'm like just listening. But I agree. I mean, I think, if I lost someone last year, and it was the kind of situation where it's like, what could I have done, And I will say, like, my relationship with losses is a little different now that it's happened. So I can relate to Pauly because, you hold on to the things you have so tightly, and you don't want to feel like you have any responsibility or onus in someone leaving. So
Right.
I think the writing is really, really smart here because Pauly does cling to stuff, right? And she clings to her to Marnie.
Yeah.
So when Marnie leaves, that would be very, very triggering. And yeah, I love the way this was developed. And I will say, sometimes in shows, these kinds of psychotic breakdown plots can feel melodramatic or blown out. And 99% of the time, Claus gets this stuff really right. But there's been a couple times in the show when he said maybe this was pushed too far. It felt kind of soapy. I was very moved by all of this. I thought it was handled very sensitively.
Especially for it to be a dramedy, whereas sometimes it's hard to kind of tell what they're trying to give it to us, comedy, dramedy. But I actually felt for Pauly. I felt a sting. I didn't cry, but I felt a sting.
Yeah, I mean, Carrie Preston, you mentioned, she's so good.
She's so
Her
good.
sister was great too. They cast her really, really well. Definitely. But yeah. How did you guys feel about the last scene with Pauly dancing in the hospital?
I thought it was beautiful, very touching.
Yeah.
True colors, I know we were talking about that at the beginning of the after show, but the way that she danced to it, it's like the way that she portrays her characters to where you can just, you really feel what they're going through. I thought it was a beautiful performance, even though it really wasn't that much,
I think it was beautiful too. It was very sentimental to me. Like I said, I get chills when I hear that song. But to be honest, when she first started and she was like, "Oh, let's have one last dance for old time's sake," I was like, "She's gonna kill her." I don't know. I got scared. I'm like, don't trust her because clearly, like, she was not like, Lillian was not walking away from Pauly. I know that she wanted that peace, so her spirit could be set free too. That Pauly tells the truth, but I was just kind of scared. I was like, I don't know what to expect because everything's catching me off guard left and right. So I thought at first she was going to probably hurt Pauly, but it was good to see that it was just a peaceful dance, and it was really neat.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Especially to end off the episode.
Yes, it was at peace. It was calm.
Do you guys think that's the end of Lily? Like, do you think that's Pauly's closure?
No.
It's a little too deep. And honestly, if that was all we got, I would be a little disappointed.
Yeah.
You know, I like that we know the backstory about, you know, how she killed her twin. But as far as seeing Lillian, I think that they'll do some more flashbacks, or they'll have her talking to her in future situations.
Yeah.
And that'll probably lead to a prediction of mine.
Fair enough. Okay, well, we'll
That's a
save
good
it.
one.
Well, there's a couple loose ends we still have to talk about. But before we do, I want to remind you guys that if you're watching on YouTube or listening on the podcast, we have an iTunes rating system that really, really, really helps our show. And some of you guys have hopped on iTunes and rated us, which means so much. But we bring this to you for free, and we're super fans of the show like you are. And it would really mean a lot and do a lot for us if you guys would hop on iTunes and give us those 5 stars. Yes, exactly. Some of our listeners are writers on the show. Some of the cast listens to our podcast. So we really want to do our best because not enough people are watching Claws. You know, I mean, it's got a great audience.
And they should, because it's such a good show.
But it really is. I think, like, it's the perfect summer show. I always say that because it's smart, but it's just a little sleazy, which is exactly what we want in the summer. So there's only one episode left, but hop on iTunes, guys. Give us those 5 stars, and it would really, really mean a lot to us. Okay, last thing we have to talk about. There's some loose ends, particularly Dean and Virginia. This was kind of sweet, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I got even more sentimental.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for love. But that was so cute because that's something that I would do. I would literally do that for my significant other. And so the fact that she brought him into the room when he was freaking out and the whole room was just made up perfectly for the way that he likes it was the best.
Yeah, what'd you think, Jaimi?
I loved it.
I loved it, you know, and you know, I told you guys the last after show, it made me a little nervous because I wasn't sure about Dean and Virginia, but now they're growing on me, and I kind of like it. I just hope that whatever not Karuchi, but whatever Virginia is doing, I hope that she's consistent with it, and
Yes.
I think that I still think that maybe in the next season, it could still go downhill, but I think we're gonna see Dean rise, and I'm excited to see it.
I think so, too. I'm kind of getting the sense they'll be a will they won't they for the show. And like more and more, I mean, like if this goes 5 seasons, I don't want them to be perfect all the time. I do want some on and off, but
course.
I feel like more and more I'm thinking like I want that season finale for them to be together, or the series finale, you know?
Yeah.
Because I think they really bring out the best in each other.
They do. They really do. I hope, like you said, hope it's consistent. I mean, like we are gonna see ups and downs, but I just hope they do not really disperse completely because I think that they bring out the best of each other, and it's a really good balance. Like Dean needs Virginia, and Virginia needs Dean more than she knows.
One thing I will say, seeing Karuchi this episode, seeing Virginia, I feel like I wish we were getting a little more Karuchi this season.
Me
Me too. I said the same thing. Like, when is Virginia's story? It's gonna come out eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna come out next week of season finale. So
Right.
hopefully, season 3. Congrats again. That it will be here because we need to understand. Well, why is Virginia that way? You know.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's just in season 1, she was so immature and so all over the place, which was fun, and Karuchi played it so well, but she's almost a little too stable for me this season. I'm like, where's like Ratchet messed up Virginia?
And that's
like,
where I feel like we're gonna get that from her, especially next season. But I feel like I would have loved to know more about Virginia this season.
Me
But
too.
I feel like it's too late.
I don't want to wait.
it's all right.
It's too late.
We know we have a season 3, so we're gonna get
Yeah.
it next season. But the final thing I want to talk about is this really sweet moment between Desna and Dean. There's been some tension between them, right? Dean's been worried. He's been nervous about his relationship with his sister and worried about being around the girls because they're all criminals. But Dean Desna asks Dean to give him away. This was really sweet.
That was so cute.
Yeah.
I love the fact that, like I said, it's a fake wedding, but yeah, they're still doing, wedding stuff. Like they're still playing a traditional way. And I thought that was beautiful when Dean said that because clearly it just goes to show the unconditional love that you have for your sibling. And
Definitely.
It was beautiful.
And only one life to live. That's why, it's like you never know when she might have another wedding because the type of people she has in her life, you just never know when that true love is going to come. And so it's like, just live it up while you can, even if it isn't real.
Definitely.
I think it's beautiful.
Okay, so we want to get into news and gossip, but before we do you guys have anything else in the episode that we need to cover? There's some stuff with Dr. Uval and his assets, but I feel like that's more predictions territory, right?
Yeah, and
yeah.
then also with Desna and Tio, I would say probably a little more predictions. I'll just say for predictions because
Okay.
I'm just kind of confused on what she did in this role.
Great. So let's save that our predictions. Before that, though, we do have some news and gossip.
Yay. All right. All right, guys, news and gossip. So let's start with Karrueche. So I love Karrueche. She, of course, she plays Virginia. And she was recently on KTLA Channel 5 News, and she was talking about a new project that she has. She is working with Vanity Girl. So if you guys are familiar with, like, the mirror that has all the lights, which I always wanted one in my little vanity area, but she has teamed up with them. So go ahead and play a clip.
So now, if you want to get Billboard ready, how's that?
Yeah,
Thank you.
there you go.
Very good. So there's this thing called Vanity Girl Hollywood, and at home, what do you have? You have a mirror of some sort.
Yes, Maxine created the Vanity Girl Hollywood mirrors, which is a big mirror with these beautiful lights. And she gifted me one a while ago, and I love it. I'm obsessed with it. I always use
These are essentially look like professional makeup mirrors.
I like that.
Yeah, right.
Exactly,
Okay.
they are. And
It's
perfect
definitely a
because
vanity
it's important to
mirror.
have the right lighting to do your makeup.
Right.
And so I travel a lot, and I came across this problem of terrible lighting.
In hotel rooms.
Hotel, it's the worst.
Okay,
The worst.
hotel rooms
The worst.
don't think about women putting on makeup.
No, hotel rooms, and I've had to do it on airplanes, and you get that nasty overhead lighting. And so after I got my mirror from Maxine, I was like, I texted her like, hey, have you ever done any type of travel vanity? Like, I think it would be great. And so we, decided to collaborate on a travel.
So now, if you want to get Billboard,
You guys, that's awesome.
Such a good idea.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that? Because I
I'm here
hate
for it.
bad lighting,
I'm always trying to get the perfect lighting. Like, even today, I was tripping on my makeup. I was like, I have to get in the studio because lighting's better in here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we need that. That's where we need that, because it's a struggle trying to get that perfect fix in the last minute.
Right,
Yeah.
and it could really be for anybody, no matter what kind of lighting you're in. But I'm also just really proud of Karrueche because
Yes.
not only is she doing acting, but now she's just being an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Proud of you.
What a cool story. I mean, like, from where she,
Yeah.
I mean, she's always been a hustler, but, like, she can occupy any space she wants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she can, like, if she wants to be, like, a serious entrepreneur on the news, she can do that. If she wants to be a serious actress, she can. If she wants to be a video
Absolutely.
girl, she can.
can do it
Like,
all.
it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. for her.
You guys,
I really
2018
am.
has clearly been a great year for Karrueche.
Yes.
So then I want to also go into Miss Carrie Preston, who has just been phenomenal this episode.
So good.
So Jen and Carrie had posted on their Instagram where they were having a twin party. So you can see that they're dressed up a little bit.
cute.
And I think most of them reside on the East Coast. Of course, Jen is from North Carolina, and so they like to watch the shows together. So I thought this was really cute that they're dressing up and, of course, hanging out together. That's always fun to see. And the next picture I want to show you guys is Carrie Preston, and I guess you could say stunt double. She said, this is Valerie Parker, and she played opposite me in every scene. So as you can see, she's wearing the same shade.
That's
Okay.
Lillian,
that she
though,
wore.
right?
So,
No,
no.
wait, you
No,
didn't-
that's not.
You
So
didn't know
Carrie
that was
played
Carrie
herself.
Oh,
Preston the
I
whole time?
see what you're saying. Oh, so Carrie Preston was.
She played herself.
You didn't know?
Wow.
No way, Jeff.
Jeff, come on.
Wait, so Carrie Preston was playing Lillian?
Yes.
Yes.
She
Okay,
just
that
had a
makes more
different
sense.
color wig on. So as
I
you
was
can
gonna
see
say,
here.
I was like, they found an actress that's so much like Carrie Preston. I was like, where did they find
You know,
her?
someone else had tweeted that. It's so funny, but
Okay.
I think she posted that just for those people. But
Oh,
yeah,
so that's
this
her
is-
stand-in. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
everything
Just to kinda
makes
show the back
sense
of the
now.
head.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys,
Yeah.
dumb moment on the show. But.
No, it's okay.
Which also reminds me of the line where Lillian says, "What do you call that shade? A cry for help?" Or talking about Pauly's red hair because it's so much just darker. I guess
Yeah.
you could say it's a lot.
I'm glad that she posted this, because now, I mean, I could put two and two together, and there is moments when you saw Pauly talking to Lillian, but her back was towards her. Well, the camera was up behind Pauly's head, so that makes sense now where her stunt double comes into play. Like, that makes total sense to me.
And
Yeah.
definitely gives you like a little bit of Parent Trap Lindsay Lohan vibes because she also played
That's
herself
true.
when she was younger.
I do want to shout out Carrie Preston. She was so good that I
Yeah,
didn't
I know.
realize. Gosh, she's such a good actress. Props to you,
Yeah.
Carrie Preston. Let me know in the chat if any of you guys thought the same thing,
Yeah.
because she was great.
Mark Ryan said, "Really, Jeff? Really?"
Which also I saw in the chat. Remember when we were talking about The Good Son? You guys, that is your homework. Please watch that
Okay.
movie. It's a classic. Some people in the chat also watched it. Macaulay is crazy in that movie.
Nice.
But the next picture I want to show is of Miss Niecy and a few legends. Miss Oprah Winfrey and Ava DuVernay. Sorry, girl. Ava DuVernay. Anyway, so Ava is working with Netflix as well as Shonda Rhimes, but Ava has a Netflix series. It's going to be a 5-part series called Central Park 5. And Niecy Nash will be starring in this series, guys,
All right,
which is
Niecy.
super exciting. You can go ahead and show that next picture as well. So for those of you guys wondering, so basically, Niecy's joining the cast of this project, and it's centered on the infamous case of black teenagers. There were 5 of them that were wrongfully convicted of raping a woman in Central Park.
Wow.
Okay, this is going to premiere next year. And you can go ahead and show the next picture. Because I believe it tells us a little bit about, what Niecy is supposed to be playing. So she's playing Dolores Wise, who is the mother of Corey Wise. So, of course, it's probably one of the 5. So that's exciting. Niecy is going to be playing an even more dramatic role, but on Netflix.
She's going to get her Emmy.
Yeah, she's getting these coins, too. So would you guys watch next year?
Oh,
I
yeah.
will.
I love Ava DuVernay.
definitely.
All
And
right.
her Netflix stuff is so good. Did you guys see 13th on Netflix?
I did.
Such a
It
good.
was
I mean, Ava
incredible.
DuVernay and Oprah are like unstoppable.
And
Plus
also-
with Niecy, that's like the best team.
And also A Wrinkle in Time, if
Yeah.
you guys saw the Disney film. So I'm really excited for next year, and I'm
Yeah.
really excited for Niecy and all of the cast, and that is our
I
news and
agree.
gossip.
I love that news. That was so
Yeah,
great.
thank
All
you.
right, guys, one more segment. We got our predictions. And now,
I love the creepy music.
Your
Yes.
AfterBuzz TV
Predictions.
both of you guys have predictions. I'm going to start with Jazzy because I started with Jamie for overall thoughts.
I really think that Desna's probably going to be doing some more killing next episode.
Yeah?
Yeah, she's all for. I mean, we saw in this scene. In this episode, how she told Pauly, "We're all criminals. We got to just own it." And it kind of worries me because we see that Zalata wanting Desna to pretty much join forces with her, like tag team again. Like, oh, we should be partners, which sounds completely dumb. I hope Desna does not, agree to that. But I think Desna has a plan of her own that we're going to see unfold next week without anyone else's help. And I'm a little worried.
Yeah?
Okay, I mean, I'm hoping for Niecy. I'm sorry, Desna, same person, different character. But I'm hoping that she just makes smart decisions. But as far as my prediction, some of them are random. So I'm thinking that it's going to be Dr. Ruval against Dr. Ken. Okay,
Ooh.
because
Really?
yes, because Dr. Ken needs to redeem himself. He's
Yes.
kind of failed everyone. So I'm thinking that. Do we know if he ever gave back the wire that he had?
He did.
He did give it back?
Yeah.
Okay, because what I was thinking is they might have something else with the wire where they set someone else up or they record it, but they might record something and then play it over the loudspeakers at the wedding. This is like a prediction in my head. And I also think that Virginia and Dean, this is like a last minute prediction, they might actually have a child. They were giving me Forrest Gump vibes with him and Jenny, like Jenny and Forrest, and
fair.
how, he was nervous. He's like, is the child okay? And, so...
Okay, I agree with you about Dr. Ken. I
Okay.
think he's going to have like a big redemption moment. And I think it'll actually be kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he'll accidentally shoot someone and then be like, I did it. I don't know. I just think there's going to be a funny way that Dr. Ken saves the day. But I have this weird feeling that Desna is going to end up double teaming against Zlata with Dr. Ruval. I think she's going to become on Dr. Ruval's team and like want to go through with this marriage, at least with some earnestness, because of this. We were learning about all these assets this episode. Dr. Ruval owns way more than we thought.
Yeah,
way more.
surprises.
And I think Des is going to want to get that coin. So I think she might want to get with Ruval and actually team up with him to take down the Russians.
That'd be very wise. That's a really good prediction too, by the way, Jeff.
I don't know.
I'm actually mad I didn't have that prediction. Just kidding.
Well, no, but I don't know because she still might be mad at Ruval. I mean, Ruval did.
She is still mad, and clearly Ruval and Zalata both don't know what Desna's up to, and
Right.
she doesn't know that they know. I think Zalata just thinks that, okay, Desna knows that we were going to, use her, but Ruval has no idea that she knows. So
Right.
I think, we're probably going to see like a fall of Zalata for sure.
I think that's all going to depend on if Ruval really likes Desna
Right.
enough. And I don't know. I don't know, guys. I had this
I'm
prediction that
kinda
just kind of
scared.
slipped, but
Nervous.
Because the thing is, granted, Ruval did cheat with
Yeah.
Desna, but he might have been. I mean, there's the argument to be made that he had to do it to look loyal, And if we're going to talk about cheating, Bryce almost hooked up with Jen's mom, which I'll just never let go of.
They kind of did.
So it makes Ruval seem a lot less bad when you think of that in that light. And this show, I think, forgives cheating pretty quickly. At least the writers do. So I don't know. That's like my tentative prediction, but we'll see what
Right.
happens.
That's a good one because I really don't think that Ruval was ever Team Zalata. I mean, I know they're working together, but I really, for some reason, I really think that his whole plan was to team up with Dixie Mafia to take down Zalata in the first place. Like when we saw them have those private meetings with him, I think he was
You're right.
more so on their side than he was Zalata's side ever.
Yeah, it's so hard.
That's
I
what I
mean,
think.
the
There's so many
alliances,
predictions.
there's so many alliances this season, it's hard to tell who's with who. But the only way we'll find out is by tuning in next week
Yes.
to the season finale of
Finale.
Claws. It's crazy. It's been such a great season. But of course, we'll be here, guys. This is
Yes.
AfterBuzz TV, and we cover everything, including Claws. Next week's the season finale, but we'll be here at 4 p.m. to probably freak out over what happens in the episode.
Yes.
For now, guys, my name is Jeff Graham. If you want to find me online, you can do that at Jeffrey C. Graham. And I'm surrounded by some beautiful panelists, including Miss Jazzi.
Yes, you can find me on all social media platforms at I'm Jazzi. That's IMJAZZIEE.
Great, and Jaimi.
Hey guys, Jaimi Gray. You can find me on Twitter at It's Jaimi Gray or Instagram at Jaimi Gray.
Guys, thanks for an awesome after show.
Thank you.
Roach, baby, we miss you, but we'll see you next
Bye,
week.
Roach.
And of course, we'll see you guys next week here at AfterBuzz TV.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.